Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dasgupta. I'll be really speaking something on the renewable energy sector in this amendment, Indian Electricity Amendment. I'm very happy that renewable energy has been given a lot of emphasis. There are many people who used to always resist renewable energy promotion, but I'm sure they cannot do it. Gradually, renewable energy is being mainstream, and in future, you will see more renewable energy in the total energy mix. But there are few points in the Act which are the gray areas. In the Act section 2, it has been mentioned about renewable energy service company. I would request Mr. Dasgupta to take it at appropriate level. I'm giving you some good inputs. What is that renewable energy service company? Those who are conversant with renewable energy, renewable energy and conventional energy, there is no difference. Electricity is electricity. So, the capacity utilization factor of renewable energy, systems are really low. So, unless that opportunity is there, that renewable energy bundled with really conventional energy, that should be that renewable energy company, service company doesn't indicate that he will be only producing renewable energy and he will have some consumers and he has to ensure 24/7 electric supply. In fact, he cannot do it with the present level of technology. So, there is a gap, he should be given, that company should be given permission that he is not really renewable energy. Emphasis is renewable energy. He may be supplying 80% of his electricity from renewable source, but maybe 20% he will depend on the conventional sources also. Then only it will be reliable and he can assure 24/7 electricity. So, this renewable energy service company, yes, section 57B clause. So, this is very, very important area. This is the way how really renewable energy by some people, we just keep it in the sideline. So, they are a good player. So, they should play with renewable energy mostly, but they should have also right on conventional power. That is one. In the section 3, it has been mentioned that in this act that renewable energy industries are to be promoted. What is that industries? That clarification is also required. Is it renewable energy power producing industry or renewable energy, manufacturers, product manufacturers? They may be producing solar cells, they may be producing wind generator, turbines or blades or anything. So, that is a separate group. So, that difference is not very clear in the act. What is that renewable energy industry? That industry, is it power generating companies or they are really renewable energy, product manufacturing companies? So, this has to be, there should be some clarification on that. Again in section 7, there is a very important thing, any generating company establishing a coal or lignite based thermal generating station shall be required to establish a RE generation capacity not less than 10% of the installed capacity. So, 10% is, it's very, I always speak, whenever I talk to even the minister, I talk to him, sir, what is this 10%? We always say 10% is very big. Actually, what is that 10%? Renewable energy, we all know the capacity utilization factor is low. Really 10% is 3%. So, this 10% in power terms or in the energy mix terms. Suppose as you have set up a 100 megawatt solar power, 100 megawatt coal based thermal power plant and you are supposed to set up a 10 megawatt solar thermal power plant. That is one way of, clarifying this act, particular act. That 10 megawatt solar power plant with 17% capacity utilization factor is really 2.5 or 3 megawatt. So, it is not really 10%, it is really becoming 2% or 3%. So, this is very insignificant. If you go to Germany or if you go to Spain or even US, so they are all thinking in terms of energy terms. Always they think in energy terms, not in power installed capacity terms. It looks very good, 10%, 15%, 20%. Suppose our country, 2,50,000 megawatt is the installed capacity. And do you know how much we are generating as per installed capacity from renewable? 36,000 megawatt. Much more than 10%, it is about 14%. Very impressive figure. But if you go to the energy terms, it is only 6 to 7%. So this is an area which needs very, really it should be clarified in the Act. Is it based on 10% installed capacity or in the energy mix? The concept of power and energy, in electricity, power is a good concept, but whenever you come to, that is the basic difference of renewable and power sector, conventional power sector. And many people, they don't understand that. So whenever we discuss renewable energy, that should be always in terms of energy term. We are calling not renewable power, we are calling renewable energy. So that terms, percentage should be in energy figure, maybe 5%, maybe 6%, but it should always be like that, not in terms of power. Now, my last point almost is very important. We are still, we have 30% people in India, they don't have access to electricity. Just before a few minutes, Mr. Nigam was mentioning they are really concentrating on accessibility. Now, the point is, India, don't laugh. India fixed a target of 100% household electrification. They fixed a target in the year 2007, then 2009, then 2011, then 2013. Now we are targeting 2022, when we will complete household electrification. So the point is here, in the Act it has been mentioned, in case of a village or hamlet or area where no provision for supply of electricity exists, the appropriate commission may extend the said period as it may consider necessary for electrification of such village or hamlet or area. It has no meaning. So the commission, suppose a village in Chhattisgarh, I often visit the whole country, Chhattisgarh or this remote village of Arunachal, you see, they will never get electricity because the appropriate commission will say, oh, these are all remote villages. So let them get power for after 10 years, after 7 years. But there is a provision that in case you don't give electricity connection to a consumer which is in your command area or close to your distribution line, unless you give them power supply within 15 days or something, you will be penalized by 1,000 rupee per day. So there is a big difference. We are creating that urban and rural difference. There should be a very specific target in the Amendment Act, and there should be a really, penalty clause. Like penalty clause is there for urban areas, similar penalty clause should be there. Otherwise, this 30% people, what is this Electricity Act, which is not speaking about 30% people of India? So there, and we are also very casual about that. So now, you see the interesting point, last point I want to mention. Again, we have mentioned about the renewable energy companies. The renewable energy company, they have gone to a remote village. He has invested, say, 15 lakh rupee. Through a mini grid he has given, I have that experience. He has given connection to say 50 or 100 or 200 families. There is a very big influential political leader. Due to his intervention, that village was electrified within 2 years. And that guy who has invested 15 lakhs, his connection, all connections are over. Nobody is taking power from him. Same thing is happening. Mr. Panjiyar is my good friend. He is also here. Same thing is happening in Bihar. So the point is, who is protecting the investment of the renewable energy industry? In the Act itself, that should be mentioned, that if someone provides electricity from renewable energy in a remote area where the DISCOMs are not going, DISCOMs has to purchase that power when they reach there, or something like that. Then the really protection of the investment will be there. Otherwise, it will be in the paper that renewable energy industry should come, we should promote. So this type of, practical, the reality, what is going on, that should be taken into consideration. Then only renewable energy will really come into the field. Otherwise, only people like NTPC or other people will be putting out 750 megawatt or 1000 megawatt solar power. I am not against that. In fact, I am helping them. But 30%, 30 crore people of our country, in spite of the Amendment Act, they will be living without electricity. Thank you very much.